Hundreds of China's Generation Z have savings less than $1, China dream shattered. The Ratman life of Dongguan, unemployed youth forced into a nomadic wilderness existence. China's unprecedented population crisis, universities establish special fast track for student marriage registration. Shenzhen skyscraper shakes violently late at night, all residents flee in panic. China faces increasing cases of dual variants as new coronavirus symptoms severely target heart DNA. A victim of China's blood economy hopes to confront the CCP. My life prior to this was worse than a dog. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Hundreds of China's Generation Z have savings less than $1, China dream shattered. Since the 18th National Congress of the Chinese Communist Party, Chinese leader Xi Jinping has put forward the Chinese dream of realizing the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. It envisions building a strong, prosperous, democratic, culturally advanced, and harmonious socialist modern country by the middle of this century, steadily progressing towards common prosperity on the basis of continuous economic and social development. However, in the current situation, a series of problems occurring in Chinese society has indicated that the dream of achieving common prosperity for the Chinese people has been shattered, and there is evidence from Generation Z, aged between 13 and 27, to prove this. Recently, hundreds of 26-year-old Chinese individuals shared screenshots of their bank account balances on the social media platform Weibo, joking about being 26 years old but extremely poor. A Weibo user from Sichuan province admitted to having a savings of only 14 cents. Another Weibo user from Anhui province stated that their bank account had $21.29, which was their day's wage. A Weibo user from Guangdong wrote, "My real savings at 26. It's so ridiculous." Then he shared a screenshot of approximately $1,890 in savings. Another Weibo user from Jiangsu added, "I'm also 26 this year." Savings? What savings? Doesn't everyone rely on their salary to make a living and spend it all? They attached a screenshot showing $67 in savings. While financial hardships may not be a major concern for the free-spirited Generation Z in the Western world, it is a serious issue for the Chinese. In China, the pinnacle of success can be summarized in one word: swan. Since 2012, it has gradually become a popular internet slang representing the symbol of success for Chinese men, house, car, and wife. However, reality has left the Chinese Generation Z feeling frustrated. According to online database Statista, the average monthly income for Chinese Generation Z is around $596, and they also face a harsh job market. As previously reported, official data released by China's National Bureau of Statistics on May 16 showed that the unemployment rate among the 16 to 24 age group reached 20.4% last month, marking the highest record since 2018. However, the actual figures may be even more severe. China's record-high youth unemployment rate is expected to further escalate in the coming months as an estimated 11.58 million graduates flood into the job market this summer. The rising unemployment rate will exacerbate the frustration and anxiety of young people regarding their career prospects and socioeconomic status. After the sustained popularity of related terms, the Chinese Communist Party's online censorship department has started posting a large number of articles containing content such as rational consumption and accumulating 400,000 yuan by the age of 30. Additionally, posts distributed by the Ministry of Public Security have been pushed to the forefront as well. The Ratman life of Dongguan, unemployed youth forced into a nomadic wilderness existence. Dongguan, located in Guangdong, China and once renowned as the world's factory, has witnessed the exodus of major factories including Sanyo, Panasonic, Samsung, Sony, Bell, Nokia, Canon, Epson, Cisco, and many more. Undoubtedly, these factors have contributed to the significant unemployment and difficulty in finding jobs for the young population in Dongguan. According to a video posted by netizens, the massive factory in Dongguan, employing 10,000 people, has stopped hiring, resulting in no overtime, no money to earn, and no consumer demand. A woman in charge of company recruitment said that the closure of stores is a pathetic sight for the real economy. The unemployment rate among CCP youth has surged. She added, out of 120 resumes received by the company, only 2 people were selected. Anyone over the age of 29 is rejected, as well as those under 25. They must also be university graduates. The company's recruitment process is truly merciless. In another video, a young man looking for work learned that the wage was only 8 yuan, $1.14 per hour. He angrily exclaimed, "What can you do with 8 yuan?" On May 19th, a netizen posted a video claiming that a group of young workers in Dongguan are living in pipes, leading a Ratman life where they don't have to pay rent or electricity bills. The video shows cylindrical structures resembling drainage pipes stacked on top of each other. The size of each pipe is only enough to accommodate one person lying down, and inside each pipe, there are clothes and other belongings, serving as their makeshift homes. The video shows an open space with a long table filled with food items and cooking utensils. A young man is seen cooking with firewood. The visitor said, "It's tough, brothers. Working and living are not easy." A man who visited the area stated that in Shenzhen town, Dongguan, there are even women living here, and the best spots are often taken by others. They live in rows of luxury pipe villas and can save a significant amount of rent. According to a report by Minxin Watch, many companies in Dongguan are facing difficulties such as poor business orders, rising production costs, and survival challenges. Additionally, many factories have relocated to the mainland or other countries such as India and Vietnam. Mr. Zhao, a Beijing-based internet commentator, told Radio Free Asia, Foxconn is gradually withdrawing, and even those privately owned companies that made it to the rich list have fled. They have lost confidence in investment, and all the bosses of small and medium-sized enterprises have given up. In the Beijing area, there are more master's degree graduates than bachelor's degree graduates this year, and they all face employment problems. They can't find jobs. A generation has come to an end. In response to the matter, some netizens expressed, the difficulty young people face in finding employment and resorting to living in pipes is a widespread issue across the country. If they don't release this news, they might still have a place to live. Once it's exposed, they might not even have this place anymore. China's unprecedented population crisis. Universities establish special fast track for student marriage registration. According to reports from mainland media on the 19th, the Harbin Institute of Technology has collaborated with the Nangang District Civil Affairs Bureau in Harbin to introduce a green channel for marriage registration for eligible students on May 20th and May 21st. This initiative aims to facilitate the process of obtaining marriage certificates. The Nangang District Civil Affairs Bureau stated that on May 20th, students only needed to present their student IDs to proceed with the registration without having to wait in line. For students planning to collect their certificates on May 21st, there was no need for them to be physically present. Instead, they were required to submit the original paper documents to the office in the university's activity center before 10 a.m. on May 19th. The university would then handle the submission and send the documents to the marriage registration office for early processing. The notice was dated May 16, 2023. As of May 20th, it has been reported that 15 student couples have signed up for marriage registration. On May 17th, a well-known financial blogger on Weibo, Dr. He Fu, posted that according to internal information from the National Health Commission, it's already May, and the registration of expectant mothers for this year has mostly been completed. We can now estimate the total number of births for the year, and the conclusion is that it may not even reach 8 million. Therefore, if your child is born this year, their schooling in the future will be very relaxed. Then the topic children born this year will have very relaxed schooling trended on Weibo on May 19th. However, some netizens expressed their concern about their retirement pension. Recently, the Ministry of Finance of the CCP released the adjustment plan for pension funds in 2023, revealing that 14 provinces are facing a deficit in pension budgets, with a total gap of 244.044 billion yuan. According to mainland media reports, around 20 million people from the post-60s and post-70s generations retire each year. The proportion of people over 60 years old will exceed 30%, indicating that China has entered a stage of severe aging. Shenzhen skyscraper shakes violently late at night, all residents flee in panic. According to the official report from Shenzhen, on the night of May 18 at around 23:30, there were unusual sounds and vibrations in the Baifuxing building located in the Longgang Street of Shenzhen. As a result, residents inside the building hurriedly evacuated in panic. It is reported that the Baifuxing building is an important structure in the Longgang area, and the occurrence of these unusual sounds and vibrations has drawn widespread attention. On May 19, the Longgang authorities in Shenzhen issued an official statement about this incident, and added that experts have initiated monitoring and safety assessments of the structural risks of the building, and the investigation into the cause is ongoing. On May 19, a topic about vibrations in a building in Shenzhen became a hot topic on Weibo. Some claim to be residents of Shenzhen and express a lack of security living in high-rise apartments like these. Others disclose that they live in the same community, and during the evacuation in the middle of the night, the road in front of the building was dug for the construction of a light rail, going as deep as 27 meters, and the surroundings became unstable. The buildings and roads cracked open. Some netizens also pointed out, this incident is very similar to the shaking event that happened at the SEG Plaza before. Shenzhen has built many skyscrapers with deep foundations, which has caused the underground to be almost hollowed out. A few years ago, there seemed to be a building shaking incident in Huiqiangbei. The underground in Shenzhen has been dug up. There is demolition happening near my company, and the building where my company is located is also shaking. On May 18, 2021, the SEG Plaza, a skyscraper located in Huiqiangbei, Futian District, Shenzhen, suddenly experienced intense shaking, causing a mass panic and people fleeing for their lives. Although the authorities claimed that the main structure of the building was safe, a subsequent report revealed construction issues with the building. Public information also indicates that during the construction, it set a record of constructing one floor every 2.7 days. China faces increasing cases of dual variants as new coronavirus symptoms severely target heart DNA. According to Dr. Li Tongxing, director of the infection department at Beijing Yuan Hospital, there has been an increase in new COVID-19 cases in several areas, predominantly affecting young people. Official notifications confirm that COVID-19 infections have surpassed influenza for 2 consecutive weeks, reclaiming the top rank as the leading statutory infectious disease. According to the weekly influenza report published by the Beijing Center for Disease Control and Prevention, new COVID-19 infections have consistently exceeded influenza for 2 weeks in a row since week 17, April 24 to 30, once again taking the first rank among the designated infectious diseases. On May 15, staff members at fever clinics in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou's top-tier hospitals stated that the waiting time for medical consultations has exceeded half an hour, with some hospitals requiring a wait of 3 hours. The long queues at hospitals in various cities have raised concerns among the public. Dr. Dong Yuhong, an esteemed expert in virology and infectious diseases in Europe, as well as the chief scientist of a biotechnology company, emphasized, the main factor behind acquiring COVID-19 is actually a compromised immune system, which loses its ability to adequately eliminate the virus and regulate the body's immune response. These cumulative effects lead to multi-organ damage or the worsening of pre-existing conditions, ultimately resulting in a comprehensive manifestation of severe COVID-19 and creating a malignant cycle. Dr. Tang, chief physician of the cardiology department at Asian Traditional Chinese Medicine Hospital, stated, recently, several patients who sought medical care have been experiencing unexplained symptoms since their initial COVID-19 infection in early December last year. According to data compiled by the US CDC, approximately 1/5 of individuals may develop long COVID. This mainly includes symptoms related to the cardiovascular and respiratory systems, chronic kidney disease, blood clotting, coagulation disorders, and neurological disorders. Common symptoms such as taste impairment, mood disorders, anxiety, fear, and sleep disturbances are also frequently observed. Amidst reports of secondary infections and the resurgence of the epidemic in multiple regions of China, some individuals have disclosed that acquaintances who contracted the virus have unfortunately passed away due to heart attacks. A team at the University of Queensland in Australia conducted a study in October of last year that showed the novel coronavirus can directly attack the human heart and damage human DNA, in addition to causing flu-like symptoms. The study demonstrated that the virus disrupts the DNA of tissues, causing genetic instability and leading to cardiovascular issues and fatalities in otherwise healthy individuals. Additionally, it can have long-term effects on infected individuals, known as long COVID or post-COVID sequelae. A victim of China's blood economy hopes to confront the CCP. My life prior to this was worse than a dog. Liu Xiaozhong, now 46 years old, was diagnosed with hemophilia as a child, which led him to drop out of school in the 4th grade. In 2004, Liu contracted HIV and hepatitis C as a result of receiving contaminated clotting factor VIII to treat his hemophilia. Like many other hemophilia patients who regularly took the Chinese-made clotting factor VIII at that time, Liu became handicapped by the tainted agent, which led to various complications and generalized joint necrosis, while many others died. According to the Epoch Times, the Shanghai Institute of Biological Products, SIBP, a subsidiary of the state-owned pharmaceutical company Sinopharm, was responsible for producing these contaminated agents. During the 1980s, China was involved in the blood plasma economy, where local governments encouraged impoverished farmers to sell their blood for quick money. However, improper blood collection, selling, and transfusion practices led to millions of Chinese people becoming victims of HIV-contaminated blood. Hunan province was particularly affected, experiencing an AIDS epidemic in the 1990s and the emergence of numerous AIDS villages. In Hoyang Village, for example, 38% of babies born after 1996 to HIV-infected parents were also infected. However, the regime adopted its typical suppression measures against the victims who sought relief from the government and the company. Liu said that even though some lawsuits were filed, no court dared to penalize those who were responsible. He said, SIP's party secretary was a schoolmate of Jiang Zemin, former Chinese leader. No one dared to touch the case. When Hunan was engaged in the plasma economy, the party chief of Hunan was Li Changchun, succeeded by Li Keqiang. Li Changchun moved from a local governor to a standing committee member of the Politburo, despite there being a national outcry to hold him accountable for the national disaster. Li Keqiang also smoothly stepped up in the party hierarchy and became premier. Since 2004, rather than receiving proper treatment and medical assistance, Liu has become a target of the regime's suppression in the name of stability maintenance by the authorities in Suzhou City, south of China in 19 years. He was kept in Suzhou's 5th People's Hospital. The day-in and day-out monitoring by the police at the hospital was driving him crazy. He decided to visit the provincial petition office to file a complaint in September 2005. But the police captured him and sent him back to Suzhou. In an iron fence ward designed for rabies patients, Liu was locked inside with no food and water for 3 days. He described his mentality, "At the time, I was naive and believed that the CCP would eventually save me and understand me." However, in April 2016, when he lodged a complaint at Sinopharm's petition office in Beijing, he was met with physical assault by an individual affiliated with SIBP. This thug even broke Liu's crutch. Liu called the police and filed a lawsuit, believing that the incident had been recorded and evidence collected. However, during the trial, the police claimed that there was no recording and that Liu had harmed himself. This realization shook him awake. He told the Epoch Times, for someone like him, with a terminal illness, the authorities would spend so much effort just to keep an eye on him. There was only one reason: the corrupt officials took him as an excuse to get more reimbursement from the central government. He mentioned that local staff members would receive substantial rewards if they managed to intercept and abduct local petitioners before they reached the petition office in Beijing. For the past 19 years, he had been forcibly confined to the hospital, enduring countless instances of torture and imprisonment. As a result, Lu's depression had grown increasingly severe in recent years, leading him to seek relief abroad. Perhaps it's because of his terrible health condition, he can't survive without receiving the clotting factor 8. The authorities did not stop him from booking an airline ticket. With many obstacles in the airport, the Chinese police finally let him go, seeing he's extremely weak physically. He was lucky to get on board. In Frankfurt, the German police at the airport took a record of him and sent him to a refugee camp, where he was registered as a refugee. After a week, he was settled in a German hospital with proper care. He said, "It's been a while. Now I can sleep at night, and the fear is gone." Reflecting on his life in China, he described it as a horror, where even in the hospital ward, he constantly feared being robbed or forcefully sent to a mental institution at any moment. The environment was highly intense and deeply depressing. Now in Germany, he feels the air is sweet and the sky is blue. His body is comforted with the pleasing atmosphere built by people surrounding him. "They've been telling me, 'We are here to help, don't worry.'" Lu regarded it as a miracle that he had managed to survive until this day. He finally discovered his dignity and regained the joy of living as a human being. He stated, "My life prior to this was worse than that of a dog." He is confident that he'll soon recover and make the best use of his time in the free world. "I will expose the brutality and crimes of the CCP in front of the Chinese consulate when I am physically capable." Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.